All right, welcome to today's Ignite session, session 11. We are halfway through, and last week we talked about, keeping every lead. I know we went into a little bit of this Ignite class about following up, but today we're going to dive into some very, very nitty-gritty details over how to follow up with leads and the best way to convert. And I know we did a lot of this in Ignite or in our script practice this morning, but for the sake of this video, we're going to dive into it a little further. All right, let's start off with Mr. Gary Keller. The effort you give to converting leads must match the effort you give to generating them. All right, I think this is a very big thing. It seems like we either coach agents who are very, very true and strong lead generators and lack lead follow-up, or we have people that, can do lead generation. It's not their favorite thing, but as soon as they get a lead, that lead is their end all be all. And I think this quote here goes hand in hand. You got to have efforts in both areas. All right. You can't just be a lead generator and let leads fall off the face of the earth, but you also can't just go and lead generate for a few and grab a couple of leads and then let the leads take up all of your ever giving time. All right. So it must match the intensity. Now, as far as like the frequency goes, I was talking to somebody about this the other day when it comes to lead follow-up. The fortune's in the follow-up. And a lot of times the agents that really focus on leads to follow up with and forget about lead generation, those agents right there are probably just nervous to lose that lead. And so you really want to make sure you set your week up for success. And that's why when I did this, good morning. And that's why when I did this, I would always do my lead generation follow-up on Tuesdays. I wanted to get it off my mind. I wanted to make sure that, one, I didn't miss out on the opportunity, right? If you don't follow up with leads, then you're going to miss the fortune. Fortune's in the follow-up. But I also found myself, if I would start to lead generate first, I would keep thinking about all of the different leads I needed to follow up with. And so it wasn't making my lead generation conversations as effective as they could be. I wasn't spending enough time on lead generation because I kept wanting to get the no, get off the phone, and then get into my time block of lead follow-up. So for me, and you guys are going to have to find your own, I needed to do lead follow-up earlier in the week. So that way it gives myself that relaxed feeling for the rest of the week to generate more leads in database entry. So I always did them on Tuesday because I always did my handwritten notes on Monday, just getting back into the groove of things. Some of you guys will choose to do lead follow-up for the first half hour of your lead generation block, take a break, and then do your lead generation to get it off your mind. Some of you will have trouble lead generating altogether. And so for the people that really have trouble lead generating, but you think you always need to do a lead follow-up, then you may need to do lead generation in the beginning of the week or at the beginning of your time block, and then do lead follow-up later because you're just not going to fail it. So whoever you are, think through that, right? Envision yourself right now. I know a lot of us on here are still working on building our pipelines. A lot of you guys have pipelines, but when you wake up in the morning, do you burn to lead generate or do you burn to follow up with those leads? Based upon your answer, I think that's how you're going to really start to make sure you set up your day correctly. So if you have just maybe 4 or 5 different leads, maybe even 2 or 3, and you wake up thinking about how much you need to service those leads, then you're the type of person that probably needs to get lead generation done earlier. And then do the lead follow-up, because 2 to 3 leads to follow up with isn't going to take you that much time. And it's going to feel good to get your lead generation done first. Some of you out there, kind of want to make sure you don't miss the bar on anything. You need to do lead generation and lead follow-up. And you know that both need to be done, and you won't stop until both are done. You pretty much have your pick of the litter as far as how your day is going to be mastered. the lead conversion process. All right, we talked about it a little bit last time, but we need to just reiterate some of these concepts. You're going to capture a lead. Some leads that you're going to capture, you're going to connect with right off the rip, and that connection is going to cause them to need to do real estate business now. And that capture to connect to close can happen very quickly. In my career, the fastest that something has ever happened was I got a phone call in the morning. I actually got an email in the morning from a potential lead that said, we're looking to do something. Can we meet this afternoon? My schedule was available. We met that afternoon at a Starbucks in Loveland. They came to me with basically a very sound pre-approval. I think they had one more document to turn in. And they also came to me with a few houses in mind. Now, mind you, these people were still in a lease. There was no real need to move right away. We went out and saw some properties. They loved the second house that they saw. I wrote an offer that night. And before 8 o'clock the next morning, we were under contract. That was an anomaly. That's happened one time. So every person that's out there thinking, okay, I got a lead, I get to go to work, it doesn't necessarily happen that way. Very rarely do you ever capture, connect, and then close them. Most often, you're going to have to go to capture, connect, cultivate, and then close them. I want everybody to see that. Lead follow-up and lead conversion is a long-term play. I think a lot of us, we get a lead and we want to go to convert them right away. Most leads need time to cultivate and connect with and grow that and understand their motivation, understand their timeline, understand that they have a life to live, understand that one conversation, you might get their kids' names, and the next conversation, you might learn that their dog passed away a couple of weeks before you guys connected, and they're still kind of mourning over that. Through multiple interactions and connections, you might find that, you know, they actually can afford a much bigger house than they initially had thought, because you've got them to the place where they started to do some research as far as their budget goes and lending. Understand that lead conversion is a long-term process. I think that's a big thing for people, because we, you know, I don't know if Patrick's on here or not, but I've been working heavily with Patrick McClintock on this stuff. And it seemed like he was on the track to follow up with leads a couple of times and then trust that the lead would follow up with him when they would be ready. He's been on a follow-up train. I made him call every single person in his database and every single lead that he had over the past 2 years. And 8 of them, I think is what we're up to, have closed on a house. He has notes around that lead that said they will follow up with him when they are ready. 8 for 8 didn't. I want that to sink in a little bit. Can't be given up on leads. Just because you have a great connection with a lead doesn't mean you can trust them. Just because you had a great connection with a lead doesn't mean that you can skip a follow-up for them. Right? People's lives change, time frame changes, motivation changes, right? Bruce, I'm thinking about selling my house in about a year from now, and I really want to make sure that when I sell this house, I can buy a different house. I don't care if I have to go out east, but I don't need acreage, but like, I don't want a postage stamp. All of a sudden, this person goes through life and, you know, let's say that their mother develops cancer and father's too old and can't take care of mother. And they now need to sell their house, not to move to a different lot. They need to move back to Wisconsin. But if you're not following up with them, you're not going to find that out. And next thing you know, they're going to be on Facebook showing everybody how they just listed their home. And you're going, what? Why would they list their home? What? They can't. They told me they can't. They told me they weren't going to. Well, little do you know that somebody in their life had cancer and it needs to be done now. And the person that actually connected with them, or the door knocker that went around door knocking on, or the open house they went to, or they went out to eat with a friend of a friend who has a friend of a friend who's in real estate, and they don't know them from Tom, Dick, or Harry, but because it was an easy conversation and they were able to connect with their friends who connected them with that agent who followed up with them frequently, they don't owe you nothing, but they owe them family everything. And so it's nothing against you when they go with another agent. It's that you didn't follow the model and system. You didn't give it time to cultivate, and you didn't think, or to Hallie's point, you felt like you were being stalky. Quit feeling stalky and quit missing the lead follow-up to asks and activities. Lead generation, the conversion is a process, and that takes time. Ooh, I'm starting to sound lectury today. Apologize. Simple graph: possible, probable, profitable, right? That's what we're moving people to. When somebody raises their hand, it's just possibility that they're a lead, right? 1 out of 10. As you cultivate and go through those different conversations with them, you're going to start to pick out, is this actually probable business? Or is this a pipe dream for them, right? Into continuing to cultivate them to the point where they're like, Bruce, really appreciate it. Yeah, our lease is up, and our landlord just told us that it's going to go up by $150 per month. And so I'm so glad that we talked to a lender to get ready to do this, because we're out. This landlord's a clown, and he absolutely is greedy, and we want out. Let's go. That's probable business, right? I won't know that unless I'm following up. How to convert a lead to an appointment. All right, so we're going to go through this. I know I hit it, but I think, we need to, like, you guys know my mantra, right? People need to be gosh darn it. People need to be reminded far more often than we ever need to be instructed. Far more often, okay? So when I talk to you guys in scripts about diving into motivation with these people, I'm going to continue to say it, right? I need you guys to ingrain that in your head. And the same thing with this flow chart, right? Capturing a lead is basically capturing some piece of contact information. That's it. At its base minimum, it's capturing some piece of contact information. Now, in your business, you're going to define leads in all different ways, right? I personally go a little bit above and beyond this one. Capturing a lead for me is one in which somebody tells me they know somebody in their life that wants to do this, or they themselves want to do this. That's as simple as it gets for me. Because if I'm talking to that individual who says they know of a friend, I'm not necessarily too concerned with that friend's contact information. I'm going to ask the person that I know more information until I get to a place where they can't answer. That place that they can't answer causes me then to have permission to ask them for that person's contact information. So this is where I kind of want to role play a little bit. Hallie, you able to help me out here?
Yes.
All right. I don't want you to give me contact information, but I want you guys to see how this works. Okay. This is how I capture a lead, or I start capturing a lead when it's, let's call it a sphere of influence referral. Hallie is in my sphere of influence, and she knows of a friend who, I don't know, make it up, is looking at buying a house.
Okay, got it.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Hallie, good morning. It's Bruce Carley. How are you?
Oh, good, Bruce. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, I'm just making a shout and giving you my rounds today. It's been a while since we've connected. How's your summer been going?
Oh, it's good. Just working, nothing too fun. How about yourself?
Yeah, working and fun. I've been out and about most every weekend, it seems, this summer. And so it's been kind of crazy and kind of awesome. But no, anyways, And then on the work side of things, work's never been busier. Our market has kind of finally started to correct, and I think it's a great opportunity for buyers to start getting back into the market because, to be honest with you, since our market's correcting, there are some houses that aren't just flying off the shelf, going way over list price. We actually had almost 30% of all listings had to do a price reduction in almost all of our counties surrounding us. But Hallie, at the same token, it isn't a bad time to sell a house either. The market's correcting, but the houses that are nice and that are ready to be sold, they're selling quickly and they're selling for top dollar still. So anyways, I'm just calling to make sure that everybody's aware of what the market's doing and to see, Hallie, are you thinking about making a move anytime, or do you know of anybody in your life that, kind of got defeated by our market over the last couple of years and now might be a great opportunity for them?
Yeah, it's crazy that you called me. Actually, last night I was with a friend and she was telling me that she's actually getting ready to actually buy because her lease is up pretty soon. And she just couldn't afford it before, I know that. But she's definitely been talking about it with her circle and everything. So yeah.
Okay. Right on. Well, hey, no, I appreciate that. And, is this something that your friend is ready to have me reach out and connect with them? I know you said that they weren't ready before. Do you know if it's financial?
Yeah, they were saving for the past 2 years, and last year when their lease was up, they didn't have enough saved and credit score and all that fun stuff. So
Nice. Well, it sounds like your friends are hard workers. If they're going to be working on saving down payment for the last 2 years, it sounds like this is something they absolutely want to do. Um, would it be of interest to you to connect me with them?
yeah, I can tell them about you and send them your number. I don't want to give out their number and then them be mad at me, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, I know. You know me, I do bite hard, and I know for a fact that as soon as I get a hold of them, they're going to be unimpressed. No, all joking aside, Hallie, I totally get it, and I want you to appreciate and respect your friendship with them. The last thing I ever want anybody to do is give out my information, and all of a sudden somebody's just calling me and trying to sell me on something. Here's what I can do, Hallie, because I've done this a long time. You see, the fact of the matter is that I do believe that you're going to call them and tell them about me, and I do believe that you're going to give them my contact information. But I also do believe that they're probably never going to give me a call until it's too late. So why don't we do this? When's the next time you're going to see them?
Probably Friday evening. I think we're supposed to go out with some other friends. So the end of this week.
Oh gosh, that's super quick. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll even give you some more time. Why don't you talk to them this week? Why don't you give them my information and tell them to give me a shout in the next, say, week and a half. And what I'll do is I'll set a reminder in my phone to reach out to you, probably about, a couple of weeks from now, just to see if they've actually reached out to me or if they haven't. So that way we can help your friends. All right.
Yeah, thank you. And I'd be happy to help. I'll definitely give them a shout when I see them, and hopefully you can help them out getting their home.
Oh yeah, no, I know I can help them out. The key is going to be that if they're deflated and they've been really working to make this happen, they might be a little hesitant to reach out to a stranger. So with your connection and your help, Hallie, I really think you can help your friends. And I'd even be open to like some sort of mutual meeting, so that way they know I'm not just going to sit there and attack them.
Yeah, totally. I appreciate that, Bruce. And thanks for calling and checking in. And I will talk to you soon.
All right, thanks so much.
Bye. Quick thing, real quick. What do
Yeah.
you do if the person in your sphere just doesn't answer you when you call them back?
What do I do?
Yeah, like, do you just forget about it, or do you put them on like a touch plan, I don't know.
Okay, so I love that question, and I'm also maybe not getting my voice across here. Never, ever, ever stop following up with leads after one or two tries. Ever. That makes sense.
Yes, got it.
Okay. right? That's what I'm trying to open with. That's why I wanted to role play with you. And I appreciate that question. And that's why I want to beat it like a dead horse. Never, ever, ever, ever fail to follow up with leads. It's okay if you're not pushy, and if you are the type of person that honestly is going to give them so much information for nothing, and so relaxed with the connection, thank you, and so relaxed with the connection around it, then you shouldn't feel stalkerish, because my follow-up with Hallie is going to be this. And remember, she already set the stage. She's not going to answer. Hey, what's going on, Hallie? As promised. As promised. I promised her I was going to give her a call. As promised, I wanted to reach out to you and see if you connected with your friends a couple Fridays ago to see if they have any real estate questions. I do hope that you don't feel like I'm going to push them. You see, I just want to make sure I can answer their questions, because if the time is not now, they need to know that. But if the time is now and they can make a move, they also need to know that. So anyways, I'll continue to follow up. I hope you're having a great day, Hallie. Crush your Wednesday. Talk to you soon. About a week from now, I'm going to give them a shout. Hallie, hey, it's Bruce again. You know me. I'm relentless in making sure that I help the folks that need help in real estate. Hey, I hope your week's going well, and I hope you're crushing your Wednesday. I'll talk to you real soon. And then I'm probably going to wait 2 weeks. Hallie, this is Bruce. And I know you feel like I don't even say that, you guys, because they don't feel that. They're still guilty. They haven't called you back yet. Hey, Hallie, it's Bruce. I just want to call and follow up again. I want to make sure nothing slips through the crack in my business, because I'm always there to help people. So when you connect with your friend, just let me know. I'll talk to you soon. And then I'm probably putting Hallie on a once-a-month follow-up, just like I would any other lead, right? See, if I get a lead, then I'm going to continue to follow up with them until I have a game plan. If that lead isn't answering their phone call, we talked about it last week, I'm going to set them up on a 10 by 8, 10 touches over 8 weeks. Just because Hallie's not the actual lead, she is the lead, right? She is the liaison to the lead. Okay. The other thing I'm probably going to go into is stalker mode. Probably going to go on to Hallie's Facebook, and I'm probably going to see if she posted a couple Fridays back about her and all of her girlfriends going out and doing whatever they're doing. And I'm going to find their names and I'm going to add them. And I don't care. Right? The worst thing they can do is not add me back. And most people will just add you because no one cares anymore. That makes sense? What are the kind of questions you guys have on capturing leads? I think that's where a lot of us are really missing. And we're all frustrated with ourselves because we're not converting the lead. But a lead can't be converted until you get to the time. You can't capture a lead or connect with a lead until you ask them a bunch of questions. Through the answers to those questions, we'll create a timeline. And then based upon that timeline will be when you want to convert. So if I say, hey, I got a buyer lead for you, Julie, a buyer lead, they want to do this, their lease is up at the beginning of April. When in my mind do I want to work to convert them? How long does the process take?
Yeah, well, I would be working on them, 6 months.
Well, we're working on them, but when do we convert them? See, I think we're missing this. We're missing this, right? We get a lead. This video out here. We got a lead. We got capture. That's capturing the lead, getting contact information. Then we're going to connect with the lead. So that's the 6 months. That's the follow-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
During those 6 months, I'm connecting and cultivating. I'm building a relationship. When does the close happen? With a buyer lead whose lease is up April 1st.
In March or April.
Their lease is up April 1st, so they cannot live in that home in April.
Like 3 or 4 months before that, start having them work with a lender.
Yes, that's when you guys should be trying to convert buyer leads. Anywhere from 4 months to 1 month away. If somebody calls me and it's March 20th or March 1st, and they say, Bruce, I need to be out of my rental by April 1st. Am I really going to set them up with a search, set them up with a lender, go through no, they can't do it.
No, I wasn't saying like, I know it takes more than a month to do it. I'm with you there. I thought you were
No,
trying to get
I'm
me to
not
say, like,
beating you up. I'm saying we get really lost in our minds when we talk about, I'm having trouble converting a lead. And then every time I sit down with people that tell me they're having trouble converting a lead, what do I ask? What's their time frame? And then all I do is do the math backwards, 3 to 4 months back. Okay, if they're in 3 to 4 months, okay, now let's talk about why you think you're having trouble converting, because now is the time to convert. But some of them are 6 months away and we're like, man, I can't convert them. Well, they're 6 months away. We really have no reason to convert. We just need to keep cultivating, just build a relationship. Ask them about their freaking dog and Fluffy and the rainbow that I saw on the way into work today, and that sort of thing, right?
so you're saying, because what I find is most of the people I'm working with or cultivating don't really have, there's not a lot of leases. They just, are going to move, have somebody who wants a ranch, there's like a stairs, blah, blah, blah. But there's no real, timeline. So then that they want to buy, they're talking about it. It's the capture part is already there. Now we're in this connect and cultivate land, and that's great.
Yep.
But they just keep, they're looking at homes, they're saving homes. They're not really answering me back when I say, hey, would you like to look at this home? Or, I guess if there's no timeline up front, you just keep like
You're in the
milking nothing the whole way. Like, no.
Connect and cultivate for sometimes years. This is exactly why we can't focus on 1 or 2 leads, especially leads without timelines. You're just going to be in connect and cultivate for a long time. And then bam, something in their life is going to cause that push. Or something in their life is going to cause that pullback. You just got to stay in that realm, but you can't not follow up with them, right? You can't get to the place where like, these guys are never going to do anything. I know they're 70 years old, but this guy, he wakes up and he's out there, mowing the grass every day at 7 a.m. and she's going to play pickleball every day. Like, they want a ranch style home so they can get away from steps, but they can still do steps. So I'm not going to follow up with them anymore. It's horrible. Just stay in the connect and cultivate. Hey guys, what's going on? I saw, are you guys still playing pickleball? You guys still mowing the lawn? Oh yeah, Bruce, thanks for checking in. Yeah, I'm checking in, but more than anything, I just want you guys to always know I'm here as a resource, and when the time comes, I'll be here. But hey, before the time comes, I want you to know I can be a resource for everybody else in your life too. So as you guys are thinking about making this move, maybe it happens, 5 years from now, and maybe it happens, a couple months from now. It doesn't matter. I'm always going to stay in touch with you. And I also want you to understand that anybody in your life that also needs some real estate questions answered, I can help them too. Do you know of anybody like that in your world right now, Julie? Okay, great. I appreciate you thinking about that. So I'll talk to you again soon. Oh, you guys do anything fun, the last couple of months of summer? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. Well, hey, I'm going to get back at it. And I wish you guys the best Monday. Go crush it. And we'll talk to you soon. Just cultivate and connect. Cultivate and connect. Keep rolling. Because as you do that over and over again, you get to decide, okay, is this somebody that needs to be on a monthly follow-up, or do I need to take them from monthly follow-up to once a quarter? From there, I'm going to keep calling. And then all of a sudden, stuff like this happens. Oh, hey, Bruce. Yeah, I'm so glad you reached out. Actually, I can't really chat right now. I'm actually at the hospital. You see, Jim was mowing the lawn the other day and stepped in a gopher hole, and I think he broke his hip. So he's going to go into surgery right now. He's fine. Don't worry about him. Jim, he'll make it through this. But yeah, this is definitely something that we need to, I just need to put a pause on this conversation and get back to Jim here. Hey, no problem. No problem. Take care of Jim. I'm just calling to say hello, and I appreciate you letting me know. I'll talk to you soon. About a month later, well, actually about 20 minutes later, I'm getting on and I'm going to 1-800-Flowers and I'm probably sending some flowers, or I'm going to send them a box of brownies in the mail to their doorstep to say how sorry I am that Jim fell. And then I'm going to put a reminder in my system to follow up with Jim follow up with them in about a month. Hey, how's Jim doing? Is there anything I can do? I know when he breaks a hip, like you guys might need your lawn mowed. Actually, I probably wouldn't even follow up in a month. I'd probably follow up in like a week. Hey, how's Jim? I know that was a big important thing to him. Do you guys need any landscaper recommendations to help Jim get that lawn mowed? I know that's a big thing for him. You know, do you guys need me to find you any crutches? Like whatever you can do to help, right? I'm happy to come over and set the trash cans out. A week later, hey, how's Jim? Jim's doing good. We're starting to walk again. He's feeling better, but you know, still can't get out there. Really appreciate you checking in on us, Bruce. All right, cool. Month later, hey, how's Jim? Everything going all right? Yep, everything's all right. Sounds good. Now we're into November. Hey guys, happy holidays. It's Bruce. Jim faring well. He's probably back out there. There's no lawns to be mowed right now, but you think Jim will be okay shoveling snow, or do we need to set somebody up for you for winter? Happy holidays. I'll talk to you guys probably around the New Year's. January, February. Hey, what's going on, guys? Bruce, hey, what's going on? So we had, you know, our family in town over the holidays, and, you know, our sons and daughters are really pushing us to make this happen. You know, I think, you know, with Jim's spill last year, it really made us, you know, see where we're at and how fast things can change. So, you know, we really appreciate you touching base with us. And yeah, we're thinking maybe we should start this process of looking for a ranch style home, and maybe even something that we don't have to take care of such a big yard. Okay. I'm happy to help. But that process, you guys, could take a couple months, and that process could take a couple years for Jim to break his hip. So any lead that does not have a timeline for motivation needs to go in the back burner of your mind. They need to be set up on a follow-up campaign, and you need to frickin' forget about them until that task comes up that says, hey, call Jim and Nancy. Hey, Jim and Nancy, how you doing? Cultivate Connect. Cultivate Connect. Have a great day. 3 months later, Jim and Nancy, what's going on? Cultivate Connect. Cultivate Connect. Have a great day. Any ahas, any eye openers here? This is what we miss, you guys. This is the biggest miss when it comes to our pipeline. We don't know enough about their motivation, or we know enough, but they don't have motivation. We just feel like we need to push them into doing it. Cultivate Connect. Cultivate Connect. Same thing with your database, right? We call our sphere of influence every quarter. Why the hell aren't we calling leads that have no motivation every quarter? Cultivate Connect. Julie wants to kill me right now.
No, sometimes I feel more confused than I did. You know, I don't know. I think
Let's clarify this. I could see your look of confusion. Anybody that's not on camera, sorry, I can't pick on you because I can't see your confusion. I want to help Julie out right here. Me and you. Just me and you. Jake, get off here. No, I'm just kidding. You can stay on. What we got?
you know, when someone comes to an open house, or they come in through another way and they're, you know, a lead, and, you know, they're looking, you know, we've had a real estate conversation. I'm, for whatever reason, probably multiple reasons, just struggling with, okay, let's get this like belly to belly appointment, you know, and I don't just go right for that. There's a little bit of cultivating right after the contact and the connect, and, you know, you have the initial conversation, you listen to a little bit about them, they're expressing their fears, concerns, whatever, your objection handling, you have the contact, you follow up, and it's like, okay, let's get together so we can do a little bit more of a deep dive on your situation. You know,
Are
offer some
they
times.
3 to 4 months away from the timeline?
I'm not coming across a ton of that, like, ever. No.
That's like, you guys, that's exactly why 1 out of 10 leads pans out in the next rolling 12 months. Multiple leads will start to pan out down the road. Go ahead.
Even when I do have folks who are now should be. I know their lease is almost up, and I'm, they're 3 or 4 months out from their lease ending. And I have been cultivating. We've talked about it. The website, they've searched for homes, we've chatted, we've given lender connections. All this stuff has been happening. They're 3 to 4 months out now on their lease, and I know that. And they really are not responsive. And
Where are they at?
what do you mean, where are they at? In what way?
Are they out of state or in state?
These ones are in state.
Okay.
They're
And they're
like
3 to
a
4 months
sphere.
out. So is it 3 or 4 months? Which one is it?
I think it's 3. I think it's 3.
Okay, but you do know the exact day that their lease ends, correct?
I know the month.
Okay, so step one, that we got to have clarity, because that's why it's 3 or 4 months, right? If it's October
Right.
1st versus October 31st, that's 8% of the year.
But getting them to, follow up and get that clarity, I'm not even, it's like, I have a relationship with her, so I'm not sure to get to that number, like what day does your, I don't feel like they're wanting to have a serious real estate conversation strategy, break it down, get it going, even though they're the ones who are like, well, we do want to move. And, they contacted me. It's like, and that's just one situation, right? We could stick with them, or it's kind of universal what I'm experiencing. It's like, I just have a lot of people who are not really responsive, even though they want to buy a home.
So make them ask, right? What kind of feelings when you can't get a hold of them? What does your voicemail say? What kind of feelings are you drawing out? How do I do this? What kind of feelings are you drawing out? So you have all these thoughts in your head around, they should be working with me. They should be working for me. I want them to meet with me. They should be meeting with me. What is your message to make them feel like they need to act?
Well, I don't know that I'm even getting into that, because it's just this game of like, hey, did you want to, it's more me asking questions, and then they're not answering those.
And this is the time where questions probably aren't meant to be had, right? You need to draw a feeling out. And if you can't get a hold of them, you can't ask a question to get a response. So I'm asking you, what does your voicemail sound like?
When I leave them a voicemail?
Yeah, so let's just pick on this lead right here. She is 3 to 4 months away from her lease being up, and she said she wants to buy a house. And now you're not getting very much response, but you have to follow up with leads. You have to. So what does that voicemail look like?
It's like that was the last time I called her was about a month ago. And I said, something similar to, hi, Morgan, just checking in. I know you guys are, nearing, your lease is coming up, and I wanted to chat about where you're at with the buying process, what you're thinking, what your next steps might be. I'm not sure if you're seeing, I didn't say I'm not sure if you're seeing my messages, but I want to be like, are you even seeing what I'm sending you anymore? Because you're not answering anything. And
why don't you say that? Hold on. Why are we so afraid to attack that elephant? We don't have to like,
because I know she's seeing them. I know she's seeing them. They're text messages and like Facebook Messenger. They're all the ways that we communicate. She does write me back, but it's not like, okay, yes, let's go. It's like, yeah, I need to get my husband on board, and it's like all this stuff. I don't know.
Okay, so we got another dynamic. We need to get the husband on board.
He's on board with moving and everything. I just think that she's a little further in the process of like reality based, and he's more like, yeah, okay.
Okay, so what happens if they don't buy?
They're just going to probably sign another lease.
And they're cool with that?
I think they are.
Okay.
I don't think they want to deal with moving. They're first time home buyers. They're both really busy. They're both brand new, and they're like master level jobs. And I don't think they want to deal with.
Oh, okay, there we're getting to somewhere. They don't have a timeline then. Their lease is not enough to act as a timeline for motivation, then it sounds like.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay. So then I just get, the frustrating part for me, which is why you see me being perplexed on these calls, is because I guess I don't really have a balance of how much time. I heard you say, mirror their behavior of how much time to spend on them, like kind of thing. So that's been helpful. But also the conversion part to me may mean something different than you're explaining it as. But to me, that means, okay, we have the contact and now I want to get in front of you. And that's maybe where I would go more into, like on the call with Harry this morning, I would maybe in front of somebody get more into their fears and tell me more and digging that out. You guys were wanting me to get there earlier in the call, but if I don't know that person, I'm definitely not going to be doing that over the phone. So I would
That's your
rather
choice.
I just don't feel like people participate the ways that you guys get on there and you're like, go back and forth with your scripts. It's like, that's not reality for me. People aren't that vulnerable even to that level over the phone with me.
Not yet. Not yet, because your mind says it's not. It truly is. Now.
Well, that's why I look like this. So
Okay. No, I love that. When I saw you, I was like, we got to attack something here because I'm just making her more confused. And I think that I'm trying to articulate very high clarity. Right. And again, you guys see how all of that question with Julie just went back around to? She's missing motivational pieces. They're likely to sign another lease if they don't buy a house. There's no timeline, right? So my voicemails or my messages or however the heck you communicate with these people would be, hey, I just want to make sure that I'm matching your intensity level. You see, your lease is up in about 3 to 4 months. And that would mean if you're looking to make this move, unfortunately, we need to probably get started now because the time frame takes about 3 to 4 months. You see, if your lease is up October 1st, we need at least about a month to go under contract and close on a property. So that puts us into September, right? The beginning of September, we need to make sure we're under contract. If we're not under contract, then we're going to have to renew that lease. So you see, it's August. We need to get started with our lending. And I'm sorry to make this sound like I'm pushing you. I'm absolutely not. I just don't want you guys to want to do this and then come to find out you can't because we waited too long. Are you guys still looking to do this, or are you guys going to be signing another lease? Either way is fine. I just want to make sure that you understand I'm not trying to push you. I just want to make sure that if this is something you want to do, you have a full explanation of why I'm telling you the time is to get started now. Julie's afraid to have that conversation because Julie doesn't want to hear, well, yeah, you're pushing me too much, Julie. We're going to sign another lease.
I don't know if I'm afraid to have the conversation. I feel like I have had the conversation in this whole cultivating time frame, and now maybe I just need to be okay with having it over and over and over.
Yes. What did I say right before? Did I say this on scripts, or maybe I said it on like night? People need to
Be reminded.
far more often than
Told.
We're all people and they're all people. Yeah, they need to be reminded of this crap all the time. They don't do this on a daily basis. They don't do this at all, you guys. They know a lot less than you think. Love you, Julie. Oh, what the heck? All right, I love this slide. This is something that if you guys get back into your night, download these slides, go to slide 19, get this thing, print it out, put it on your wall, put it on your background. All right. This is ultimately what we always miss, right? Just in that dialogue with Julie and I, she's missing information, right? She doesn't know exactly when the lease ends. And she doesn't know how comfortable they're going to be signing another lease, or if they're going to, or where they're at, right? So when you have a lead, walk through these questions. Who are they? Julie can identify that. What do they want or need to do, right? Want or need. They want to buy a house, they don't need to. If they need to, then game on. If they want to, cultivate, connect. Where do they want or need to do it? Where are they moving to? Why are they moving, Julie?
They just want to be homeowners. They understand that rent's a waste, but I guess the pain point for them is not enough.
So they're not
Okay,
even
they-
looking to buy a bigger place or move from like an apartment, condo, townhome.
They
style to a
are,
single
they would be
family
going from an apartment to a house.
apartment to a house. Why?
They don't want to waste their money renting, they say.
Okay, so if that's if that's the only reason why they're looking to move, then they would be okay with a condo or townhome.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Perfect. There's another unknown, right? See, now you got ammunition, Julie, to follow back up with them. Right? Why, or where were we at? Why do they want or need to? That, or I guess we just attacked that, right? When do they want or need to? They want to do it before their lease. They don't need to, which is why timeline is really rough on that situation. How do they plan to do it? Right? They're busy. They've got lives. They're super busy people. How do they plan on doing that? Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, it seems like you guys are very busy. And it seems like this is something you absolutely want to do. So how can I help you in your busy life connect with that lender? You see, that's the first step. And I know that we want to do this. We need to do this. We've got all these things. But in order for us to actually accomplish this, we're going to need to find time to talk to that lender. Do you think it would be effective if I just set the meeting for us? Would you guys be available Thursday at 5 or Saturday at 11? And I'll make sure I can have a lender to meet with us. Let me take these things off your plate. Let me show you how. Print this off. Use this. This is huge when it comes to talking to people. This is how you know you're missing voids. You're missing gaps. Cultivate. I don't even think I read this. Oh, yeah, perfect. So this is what we've been talking about. You have to continually reconnect, and it has to be in a systematic way. Otherwise, you will let it drop through the cracks, right? And so we talked about in the last Ignite. We'll just go over it again. When it's a lead that is not communicating with you, so it's an open house lead, it's a signed call, it's a sphere of influence referral. All you basically know is that they're a lead and you have some contact information, but they're not answering, responding to anything. 10 touches over 8 weeks. And then from there, if they still aren't responding, once a month, maybe for a few months. And then if they aren't responding after that, automated drip once a month. But a lead always gets touched once a month at a minimum. For me, I go through my 10 by 8. And then I do once a month for a while. And then I just plug them right into my sphere of influence campaign. So then they're always getting touched at least 2 or 3 times a month, plus a quarterly call, right? But it's got to be reconnecting in a systematic way. Then on the flip side, leads that actually connect with me, right? 6 months to a year away, once a month. 6 months and under, probably some more frequency. A couple times a month when you're 6 months away. A couple times a month when you're 5 months away. Every week when you're 4 months away. Systematic way. All right, we said this before, but let me hit it with leads. Buyer leads and seller leads oftentimes have a very general lead time. Seller leads are what type of lead time? Before they start telling the public or their friends that they're looking to sell their house. 1 to 3 months on average. Buyer leads, 6 to 12 months on average. So a buyer lead always raises their hand. They're excited. They shout it out to the world. We're getting pre-approved. We're looking at, we want to do this. They're excited. Seller leads, they know they're going to sell their house, but they don't like it. They got to get their house ready. They got to fix this thing. They got to do these repairs. They got to do these renovations. Da, 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 da. Then they start actually voicing it into the world about 1 to 3 months. So that's why it's because we got to be systematic. So we hit all of those 1 to 3 month lead people. Same thing with life. So I have a buyer lead who wants to buy their house in the next year. If I don't follow up with them once a month, I'm never going to know about all the life-changing circumstances that start to happen. The landlord is looking to sell the house before my lease is up. My mother just got cancer and I need to move back to Wisconsin before my lease is up, and my landlord's willing to let me go because of the family situation and dynamic. I lost my job and I've got to I found a new job, but it's an hour and a half away. And so my landlord let the lease lapse because I can't pay the rent, and I moved closer to another to my work, and we had to rent again for a year. So now our timeline is pushed out to a year to a year starting today. Right? If we're systematic about it, you guys, and we're coming from contribution, right? I don't get on the phone trying to hammer somebody into an appointment. I don't get on the phone trying to hammer somebody into a lead. I get on the phone to connect and listen and help people. Jim broke his hip. Boom. I know Jim loves to mow the lawn. I need to figure out how I can help him with how he can keep up with the lawn. Right? You lost your job. Holy crap. Okay. Forget about buying a house. What type of industry were you in? What kind of job are you looking for? I want to find you your next job. Okay, great. Sounds good. Then I'm calling my database. Hey, Jake, what's going on? I got a buddy of mine just lost this job. Do you know any jobs available? Here's his skill set. I really want to help people in my life. Okay, Jake, you don't know anybody? Awesome. Hey, no problem. You doing well? Summer going well? Cool. Next, Julie. Hey, my buddy Bob, he lost his job and I really want to help him find his next job. Here's his skill set. Do you know of anything? Can you think of anything? Okay, awesome. I appreciate your time. You having a good summer? Everything going all right with you? Cool. We'll always reach out if you need anything. I'm here to help everybody I know. Talk to you soon. Hallie, what's going on? It's Bruce. Bob lost his job. Bob's skill set is XYZ. You guys help people. Get on the phone, and when you connect and cultivate, it's all about listening to their situation and you problem solve. You take every problem that they have on their life and put it on your shoulders. Take ownership of everything, even if it's not yours. And next thing you know, your mind starts to come from contribution naturally. It's within a split second, you know exactly how to help that person. But it takes time. And honestly, you guys have all those opportunities through cultivating leads. But you do it in a systematic way. The conversations continue, and you'll find things that you can help them with. And when you help a lead, when you help a database member, when you help a sphere of influence person, just one time, make an impact on their life one time, they're not going to do real estate business with anybody else. When asking for an appointment, which format do you think is most effective? I'm not even going to pause the class for that. If you tell me email or text message, you're wrong. All right, best way is in person. Second best way is phone call. Oh, I posted this the other night, and now let's resonate this. Let's beat this up. All right, this is kind of what a couple of us are still struggling with, working on. In the end, if they can meet and have a good enough reason to meet, they will meet. All right, stop right there. In the end, if they can meet, right? So Julie's got busy people in her life and have a good enough reason to meet, they will meet. So if the lease is up October 1st, but they're cool with signing a new lease, we got to give them that good enough reason to not sign that new lease. How do you do that, Jake?
Emotion.
Yeah, good. Now draw some emotion out for me. Or anybody. I'm gonna pick on anybody. Who wants to role play right now? Yeah.
Does your lease have an early out fee for canceling your contract or getting out of your contract early?
Yes, it does.
Do you know how much it is?
It is actually double the rent. So I'm paying $2,200. So it's $4,400. And there's no way I'm going to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what if we could work that into seller concessions and we have the seller pay for it for you?
Seller concessions, never heard of her.
She's a great lady. Get you tons of great stuff. You can buy down rates with it, but we could use it to get you out of this contract early.
What do you mean? I'm going to buy a seller's house, so they're just going to give me a check?
Yep, pretty much.
No, don't say that. Blech.
No, not pretty much. No, I don't know how to explain that one then.
All right, let's take a pause. Let's do this. All right, seller
No
concession.
one's ever asked past that. They're just like, oh, really? Cool. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, and you're probably right. I'm probably going a little deep with it, but let's talk about seller concession.
I'd rather know exactly.
Yep. So seller concession. Concession is money from a seller that a buyer can use to contribute to buyer's closing costs and prepaid items. Okay. So what it is the seller is going to net, say, $100,000. Through that net of $100,000, they're willing to give the buyer $5,000 in seller concession. If you actually read section 4.2 of the contract, it says that seller concession has to be applied from the proceeds of the seller's home to the buyer's closing costs and prepaid items on the transaction. So closing costs and prepaid items are your loan origination fee, your prorated taxes and insurance for the mortgage, possibly HOA, and then your recording fees and stuff like that for the lender. Usually about $6,000 to $8,000. But you can also use seller concession to buy down interest rates. So sometimes your closing costs can be $6,000 to $8,000, but then you can tack another $13,000 onto that to buy down an interest rate by a point. So the seller concession is not money that comes directly from the seller, directly to the buyer. It comes from the proceeds of the sale on the line item for a debit credit on the settlement statement to the buyer, and more specifically, really to the buyer's lender. And so what you'll see is the seller contributed $5,000 towards seller concession on the credit side. And then on the debit side, buyer's lender was $6,000. So now the buyer's actually paying $1,000 for closing costs to the lender. So there, instead of the buyer having to bring $6,000 to closing, they're going to bring $1,000 to closing, and they're going to give $4,400 to the landlord to get out of their lease early. That's kind of how seller concession works. All right, but let's keep going with this. Okay, so we got seller concession. Keep making me move. What's a good enough reason for me to meet with you? I like that reason, Jake. Oh, crap, I'm sorry. I'm not sharing my screen. I like that reason, Jake. However, that reason is not going to get me there. Get me there.
Well, why are you renting?
Well, you know why I'm renting, because I haven't bought a house.
No, why are you renting?
Why am I renting?
Yeah. Is there a reason? Like
Because
you
I
don't
don't
want to
own a
buy a
house.
house? You
No,
don't
I
want
want to buy
a
a
house?
house. Think of
Oh.
Julie's situation with her lead. I renting. The lease is up October 1st. I'm okay with signing a new lease. That's why Julie's not getting them to meet. So give me a reason to meet with you.
I'd bring up those graphs we were talking about earlier about how you're wasting money renting and not buying.
Matthew McKay coming out the woodwork. Love it. Yes, exactly. Hey, Jake, I know that you said that you're cool with, you really want to get out of a lease because you're tired of paying somebody else's mortgage, but yet you're still comfortable signing a new lease. What if I showed you that year over year on average, right? We average an appreciation rate of 4%. Jake, do you know what 4% of $500,000 is?
20 grand?
20 grand, right? And how much are you paying in rent right now?
Per year, per month?
Per month, per year, I don't care. But yes, per year.
About 12,000.
About 12,000, right? So you got a pretty good rental situation. So that's cool. So now, Jake, think about this. Because our market appreciates 4% year over year, and you pay about $12,000 a year in rent, okay? At the end of next year, the $500,000 house that you were looking at is now going to be 520, as well as you paid $12,000 to somebody else's mortgage. So is the house 520 or is the house 532? Because you've already paid $12,000 to stay where you're at. So you see, Jake, the thing about waiting is, and I don't want to sound pushy because my job is to help people get into homes. My job more than anything is to build wealth through real estate. You're helping another individual build wealth through real estate. And by waiting, the cost of waiting is 4% year over year, plus all of the rent that you put in there. So you see, Jake, when I say I want to meet with you to see if we can accomplish this before you have to sign a new lease, it's because I don't want you to have to pay $32,000 more next year than you would today. $32,000 is a large chunk of money in my life, and I'm not sure how it looks in your world, but that's all I'm simply doing is trying to ask you to sit down with me to see if this is a possibility before your lease is up in October. So do you have some time Thursday at 5 or Saturday at 11 available? Just 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Give them a good enough reason. Thank you, Matthew. Exactly. Exactly. And if they don't, they won't. Sometimes you guys, all of those things go back to, well, that's great, but you know, the other thing of it is I only have $7,000 saved up, or my credit score is 500,000. Right? If they don't, they won't. So sometimes all the good reasons we can give still might not align or fit. I'm not going to give my buyer down payment money. And then you have to be okay with that. Move on. Next, right? It's not that I don't care about these leads. It's not that I don't care about my friends. It's that their situation doesn't align with me needing to care at this moment. You really don't care what their answer is ultimately. It's because you're not getting people to do anything they don't want to do. You're just going to ask and respond until they agree that meeting with you makes sense, or it doesn't. Either way, you both win, right? Either way, you both win. Julie's people sign another year's lease. They understand that they're going to lose $32,000 over the next year. That's okay. You provided clarity. They win in understanding, okay, I'm signing this lease. I'm not going to beat myself up about not buying a house. And you win because you help somebody figure out and provide clarity in their life. I love this quote or this excerpt from Shift. It's amazing. I needed to. Where's that? All right. Yeah, Helena.
You said in the last slide, like if they aren't ready or their credit isn't right or their savings account isn't right, at what point do you draw the line? Or could you just refer them to someone who could help them get on that track so you could still keep in touch with them month to month? Or is that just like, is that doing too much? Or
No, not doing too much. So great question. Okay. So yes, I like that we're tackling this situation because in the last couple of years, you guys, the buyers that just don't have any money or credit, they're actually not coming out and raising their hand right now. So we have so many leads in the world right now that actually aren't raising their hand because the market has been so volatile. But as the market kind of does what it's doing and listings are sitting on the market and sellers are doing concessions and all of that, you're going to start to have buyers that come back out that have a lack of down payment and credit. So to Helena's point, yes, whenever they say that, I'll say things along the lines of, okay, there's a few lenders out there that will help, that have basically relationships with credit repair companies. The lenders, this is for everybody. This isn't really a role play. Lenders, it's illegal for lenders to be credit repair people. So a lender can only help in a very limited capacity. And usually what a lender does is a lender will have a relationship with basically a credit company. And then that credit company, because so like lenders, when like going all over the place, and I apologize. When somebody signs up with a lender or starts an application process, the lenders have to pull credit. So that lender has to pull credit from a credit company. And because that credit company is in business, the lenders have to pay that credit company to pull that. So because a lender uses the same credit company, oftentimes that credit company kind of as a service for that lender continually using them has some sort of program to where they can kind of monitor an individual's credit and give some advice that's been relayed to the borrower. So as you can see, it's not the ultimate way, but I will tell you that most buyers are okay with that because they don't have to pay any money for somebody to kind of give them some advice on how to boost their credit. Now, I said a lender can't be a credit repair person, meaning they can't take an application from a buyer and then start to talk to the credit bureaus and help the actual borrower with their credit. They can only give advice, and usually that advice comes from the credit bureau that they pulled credit through. And oftentimes, you guys, it does work. Like a lot of people are very close to having the credit that they need to buy a house. Then you might have some people that have really bad credit that are not even close to buying. Then they may be willing to hire a credit repair person. If you guys need a credit repair person, I've got somebody. They are kind of hard to find because credit repair people typically have a couple of different jobs, or they work for a major company that they can receive a salary from. So credit repair people, it's just not a lot of business for them to be had. So they're kind of hard to find. So I've got kind of that one-off guy. It's a couple $100 a month. And what he does is he kind of sends the credit bureau letters on the buyer's behalf, works with them on, okay, based upon, my system, if you pay off this debt by this much, leave a little balance, you're going to be good. If you do this, don't pay that off. Don't pay that off. I know you want to, but pay off this or do that. Or there's something wrong with your credit. It's not reporting right to the credit bureau. So we need to send in a letter of explanation. Here, I'm going to draw it up and I'm going to have you sign it. So a credit repair person, it's usually not like a full-time job. So if you need somebody, I've got it. Otherwise, it's basically the major credit companies that are out there. But yes, I always ask Helena, is that somebody I can get you in touch with? Would you like to talk to a lender for free? It may not be, every piece of advice, and you're going to have to do a lot of the legwork yourself. Or would you like to talk to a credit repair person, and they're going to charge you per month to kind of for that service until the credit's good? Would you like that person? Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. If there's any other thoughts on that, just let me know, okay?
Bruce, this is
Yes.
Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi. The cultivation with credit repair it goes on. I actually have some buyers, and they've hired me. They've signed the exclusive with me, but it's been 6 months that they've been going back and forth with the lender and trying to do the credit repair and not deciding exactly what they want to do. So the cultivation continues throughout.
Yes, it does, especially with credit repair, because now I don't want to poo-poo on people because my credit is in the tank right now. Like my credit is so far gone, it's unreal. And that's because of the divorce. So there are some people that aren't willing to really share that. They feel very ashamed when they have a low credit. And the other thing that really stinks is most people that get into a credit situation, they're either traditionally repeat offenders or they're people with one-off situations. So people with one-off situation, like, going through a divorce or,
Your
a
mom
big,
maxing out your credit card and tanking your credit score and
what's that?
your mom maxing out your credit card, tanking your credit score, not paying it off. Things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, stuff like that, right? The stuff that's kind of out of, like, it's in control but out of control, those people are usually much more willing to work on their credit. Repeat offenders, it's a habit, right? They constantly rack up credit card debt. They can't pay it. They've got all these back fees, blah, 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 blah.
Buy new cars.
Yeah, so now they're trying to repair credit, but they're still living the same lifestyle. So they're repairing it and then they're deleting it, repairing it and deleting it. And it's just like a cycle. Those people, sometimes it takes a couple years. Anytime you're trying to do credit repair, just swallow it right now. It's about it's a 3-month process minimum. Because even if you were to like pay off everything and do everything this month, okay, this month is August. So then that means in September, all of the things you did will start to hit. And then in October, all of those things will actually start to kind of come through to fruition. And maybe October, the credit's a little bit better, but more than likely, you're actually not going to see a better credit score until November. It's just the credit bureaus run on a monthly cycle. So anything you do today is not even going to be processed until September. And then once it's processed, it's probably not even going to show up until October, November. So credit repair is rough. Any other thoughts on that, Leslie? You're not wrong. It's a process. And again, you guys, that's why we're doing this. If you guys can see from this Ignite class, you know, we talked about converting leads. Converting leads is actually more than anything, just breathing, remaining calm, and having things in a systemized way in which you absolutely continue to cultivate and connect. And then over time, things come together. They really do. Okay. All right. This is where we kind of really talk about business. We keep saying systematic way. You got to continue to cultivate and connect. We've talked about a lot of these facets, kind of out of order, maybe in order, I don't really know. But time blocking, right? We mentioned this earlier. I found that through my journey called real estate and building my foundation and understanding who I am, my business cannot be Leslie's and Leslie's business cannot be mine because we're two totally different individuals, right? We may have the same, you know, likes and similarities in our personal life and stuff like that, but let's face it, we're still different creatures. We have different personalities. And so my personality needs to fit my business and so does hers, right? There's a reason if every single restaurant was ran the same way and the quality of food was the same way and they pumped out the same dishes all the time, we'd only need to ever go to one restaurant, right? Well, the reality is that we all need to sit down and talk to ourselves about our business. I can't tell you how your time blocking is going to look. Some people fire on all cylinders between 8 a.m. and noon. That's me. Some people fire on all cylinders between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. Some people fire on all cylinders from noon to 4. Some people like midnight to 2. Time blocking for you is going to be you. But I think where we're getting at is what kind of person are you? For me, I absolutely cannot stand to think about, I can't stand to think about lead follow-up. I know I need to do both. I'm pretty disciplined when it comes to lead follow-up and lead generation, but I've learned over the years, I'm much more effective at lead generation when I take the pressure of lead follow-up off my plate, just how I learned. But it was through trial and error, you guys. Multiple times of time blocking, doing something for 3 months, looking back at it, reevaluating it. Am I living the life I want to live? Do I wake up every day doing the things that I want to do? And over time, I start to go, no, man, that was okay. I didn't mind these last 3 months, but I still just have some angst. So I need to change. And then bam, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Handwritten notes on Monday, follow up with leads on Tuesday. The rest is lead generation, sphere of influence Wednesday, and then door knocking, cold calling, open houses Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You guys find you, but you have to do it. You have to time block. All right. And if you're not time blocking for lead gen and then a separate time block for lead follow-up, I have a hard time understanding when you're going to do it. It's just a general time block, right? That would be like me going 8 to 5 and I just work. What am I doing during those times, right? So block that out. Use systems and conversions. Or is that conversation? Use systems and conversations, right? Systems, use commands, right? Like people that have no damn timeline of motivation, you need to quit wasting brain space on them. Put them into the CRM, tell the CRM exactly when you want to follow back up with them, set it, forget it, and then that day that your email task comes to you and says, hey, I need to call Jim and Nancy. Cool, I'll call Jim and Nancy. But I don't have any pressure on Jim and Nancy to meet with me because they're retirees. They have no reason to move. They have no timeline to move except for they're getting older and they want a main level master. Jim and Nancy, what's going on? It's Bruce. How's your summer going? Hey, as promised, I follow up with you. Everything going okay? You guys need anything at the house? How's Jim's head? How's this? How's Fluffy? How are the grandkids? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. I hope you have a great rest of your summer. Talk to you soon. System follow-up 1 month from now. Check. Done. Jim and Nancy, I don't want to cross my mind for the next month unless I find them a main floor master home that just hit the market and it gives me a reason to call them. Otherwise, next month, let's go. Connect with your whole database. Connect with your whole database. You can't let people slip through the cracks. You can't look at Jim and Nancy's task that says call them and go, I just talked to them last month. Nancy had nothing for me. They're always so short-winded. I always feel like I'm annoying them or I feel like I'm a stalker. Blah. Get it out of your head. Call them. It's your whole database, right? People's situations change. If you miss Jim and Nancy's contact, then you won't know Jim broke his hip. And you won't be there to help. And you won't be the person that goes over and gets their trash cans from out behind their gate while Jim's still recovering because Nancy's a wreck. I'm giving you guys know who Jim and Nancy are? They're past clients of mine. This situation cultivated them for years. Do you guys also know my story about the flooring joists that were defective at the new build? That's Jim and Nancy too. Cultivated for 2 years. Finally got them under contract with a ranch style floor plan, main floor master. And then we had that issue with the new build situation. Whole database, you guys. Situations change all the time.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
What? So after I called my sphere the first time around, they like barely any of them answered. Just like past coworkers, people who I know but we're not like close. And then like since then I've sent like texts checking in on them, like coming from contributions. Some of them are pregnant, so I'm checking in on that. And they literally have not responded at all. Like they've completely like nothing. So I don't really want to call them anymore, but what would you say? Like they just seem uninterested and they don't want to talk to me. So I kind of want to kick them out, but you're smiling over there. So what's on your mind? Just say it.
Hello, this is Hallie. I'm just reaching out to follow up, see if you guys have anything going on with your world and your life with real estate, blah, blah, blah. Hope you have a good day. Next.
So I
you have to reach out to them.
they don't care about me though.
What, they don't care about you?
Yeah, they don't want to talk to me. They're obviously ignoring me for like 4 times in a row. So
that's what they said to you, or that's what you're assuming because of non-responsiveness?
yeah, second option.
Cool. Hello, this is Hallie.
Okay.
You guys are too young to know it. You're just too green with real estate. Multiple times have I not connected with people, right? When I say that I have a 200-person database and I call my sphere of influence every Wednesday, 50% of all phone calls at least are voicemails. No expectation of them calling me back. Next, keep going. Every quarter. I've got people in my database who haven't answered me for 2 years, but they get a voicemail every quarter, and they get my email every month. And until they unsubscribe, they're going to continue to get my emails. And even when they unsubscribe every quarter, what's going on, Spruce? I don't care. Until they tell me that I'm bugging them, they're going to get me. Because here's what happens. The moment you delete them is the moment you find out on Facebook 3 months later they bought a house. People, yes, you're always going to have people in your life, you guys, that you're going to call and you want to connect with them, and they never answer because they always think that they heard that you were in real estate and you're starting off and that the only reason why you're calling is for real estate. Let them think that. Let them think that. Because the moment that they do need real estate needs and you've been leaving them a voicemail 4 times a year, you are the easy button in their world. Ah, shit, I got to call Hallie because I don't know of any other real estate agent because I am the number one, like McDonald's, Lay's, Coca-Cola, Google. That's what quarterly calls do, with or without you talking to them. Continue to call. It's a good question. I laugh because if the question is should I call? The answer is yes, every time. Until they tell you to piss off, until they tell you, Hallie, I don't want to be your friends anymore. Like, this is bullcrap. You got your real estate license and all you're doing is calling me now to help, to have me help you in your life. They don't ever say that. We just think that. Nobody in my database has ever said, Bruce, you're greedy. And I know that the only reason why you're calling me 4 times a year is because you're in real estate and you want me to help your business. Nobody has ever said that to me. But I have tons of people in my database that don't answer the phone at all, if ever, really. But when they need me, I'm there. It's tough when you're new. You don't want to lose friendships that you never had. You see, if these people were your friends, they'd be responding to you. They're not your friends, is what you're pretty much telling me.
Yes, exactly. And I don't want to call them anymore, but I'll force myself to.
Just keep texting them then. But
Okay.
in a day when you wake up and you're like, I don't have as much business as I need, quit texting them. Do you know why? Right there's why. Okay, prioritize qualified leads. And I think that's, let me just double check. Okay, to finish up this Ignite series, we're going to talk about prioritizing qualified leads. All right, this is where we use the word pipeline. All right. Somebody told me they might have taken this resource down, but let's see if we can still find it. All right. If you guys go into KW Connect, as you know, the way that I do it is through mykw.kw.com, hit education. And then you want to go to, ooh, that might not be in here. Go to education and then go to, ooh, somebody's right. They might have taken it down. Okay, let's try it this way. You guys, okay, watch this growth button. It has drop downs. Don't click on the drop downs. Watch my mouse, and right above the top of growth will change to a click. Right there. Click on that. Okay. Oh, nice, it is. Growth initiative still here. Okay. And then you want to go into career growth initiative. Once you're in career growth initiative, you're going to scroll down. And you're going to get over here to some tools. I want you guys to download this Pliers pipeline tool. It's going to download in the zip form. There's a little video here if you guys forget what we're about to talk about, but I'll save you guys some trouble here. All right, once you have that downloaded, it's going to pull up and it's going to look like this. Let me see if I can't. Okay, so here's your pipeline. All right, this is where you should be logging any and all leads. Okay, when you first get started, every single lead opportunity, you need to be logging into a pipeline. The moment that you get to about 50 leads, then you can start to make the decision if 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s are going to make the list. And you'll understand what I'm talking about here in a second. At the bottom, you have a listing pipeline and you have a buyer pipeline. All right, don't mix buyers and sellers if you're using two pipelines. Use two pipelines. If you only have one pipeline, that's fine. Just manipulate this. If you guys can't find the tool, don't you think you could create a spreadsheet that's pretty simple? That's all it is. So don't freak out if you can't find the pipeline tool. Email me. I'll send you the zip file that just got sent to me. Most people use this and then they realize they're just going to use it on Excel anyways. Their way. Appointment date, right? What if you don't have an appointment? Leave it blank. It's super simple. All right. If I get a lead and I haven't nailed them down for an appointment, I don't need an appointment date. Or change the name of appointment date to first date of contact, right? This is for you. Address, if they're selling a house, I'm going to put their address. If they're buying a house, I'm going to put the cities in which they're interested in looking. I'm teaching Ignite. Yeah. There's somebody that needs me, I think. Let me pause real quick. I'm out of here. Actually, what time is it? Probably like 10 till? Quarter of. Yeah, we're about 5 minutes. You're talking about 5 perfect. Yeah. Hey, you're welcome. Your screen sharing is paused. What did I do? Can you guys see my screen?
I can still see it.
Oh, okay. It just kind of like did a snapshot. I think we got it. I meant to pause the recording, whatever. All right. So address. I don't get, I mean, I have my buyer's address, but more than anything, it's a pipeline for leads. So my address for my buyer is going to be in my CRM. It's going to be in my command. So I put the areas of interest to them. Obviously their name, contact information. Again, that's up to you. A pipeline tool is for you to look at future business. If you want to have their contact information there, do it. For me, if I got their contact information in my phone and I can, see their name and go to my phone, I'm just going to use that. Okay. I like this though, right here. These last three are probably in my world the most important. Next steps and notes. So we're really good. We are really good at getting information from people and taking notes. What we really suck at is setting the next expectation. So the next step is the expectation. What was set? So let's go back to an example that we talked about today. Let's go Hallie. Hallie and I were role playing, and she has a friend who she's going to see on Friday, who is looking at possibly buying a house because they're pregnant or whatever she said. And I need to follow up with them because I promised Hallie I'd follow up with them in a couple of weeks. Next step, follow up August 21st, right? That's the next step. Then I'm going to go in my CRM and I'm going to put a follow-up task in August 21st to call Hallie. And then I'm going to go into August 21st in my calendar and I'm going to put in a calendar entry that says call and follow up with Hallie. And then I'm going to get on Mr. Siri here and I'm going to say, hey Siri, don't do it. Remind me on August 21st at 10 a.m. to follow up with Hallie. So now my pipeline tells me to follow up with Hallie. My CRM tells me to follow up with Hallie. My phone's going to tell me to follow up with Hallie. And my calendar is going to have a calendar entry to follow up with Hallie. When we talk about systems, I need every single one of your minds to just realize right there that those 4 things are not a waste of time. A lot of you guys are just putting a task in command and forgetting about it. That's how things get slipped through the cracks. Because what happens if I have a car accident on Monday the 21st? Well, my CRM is going to go, that task is going to go overdue. The calendar entry is going to flee. But my CRM is still going to have an overdue task and my phone's going to have an overdue task. So then I'm going to actually remember on the 22nd. But if I just put it in here, I might not remember. So next step, super important, especially if you get off the phone and you look at this and you go next step and you're like, ah, crap, what is my next step? This one single column really effectively teaches you how to set expectations at a high level. That is an amazing looking cat. Is that a Maine Coon? Yeah, holy crap, I love Maine Coons. They're huge. Notes, obviously, what's going on, how does that work? And then ranking, all right, ranking. If they're a 10, okay, this says total number of appointments. I don't think about it as appointments, all right? The reason why it says appointments is because you've talked to this person and you've figured out a timeline. And from that timeline, you can rank them 1 through 10. So basically this is saying that even if you just had a conversation with them, that's an appointment. Don't think of your business as that being an appointment. Appointment is a consultation, buying and selling. So rank them. A number 10 is buying this month. So in order for somebody to buy this month, what do they have to be doing? They have to be ready. They have to be willing, and they have to be able. Able is financial. Willing is I'm buying a house. Like I'm willing to jump into my car whenever Bruce says go to go look at a house. Able. I'm able, or wait, did I say able already? Ready, sorry. Ready. I'm ready to buy a house, meaning my lease is up. I need to do this. The kid is coming due. My new job starts. That's ready, you guys. See, a lot of our leads, we think that they're ready, but they have no timeline. So this pipeline is a really cool tool that really helps you understand, are they actually ready? If I'm ranking somebody at 10, that means they have a pre-approval, they're ready to jump in a car, and they're ready to make an offer. If they're not that, then they're not a 10. Number 9, buying next month. So maybe I'm a month away from them looking at buying a house or going under contract. Maybe they're still working on their pre-approval. An 8, 2 months. Now I've got maybe some time and they're working on their pre-approval. 7, 3 months. 6, 4 months. 5 to 6 months. Remember, I have it's not magic. This is systematic. My leads get followed up with very heavily when they're 6 months or 1 to 6 months away. And that's because they're a 5 through a 10. Like I said, if you guys are starting your pipeline, put every and all leads on here and rank them 1 through 5. Perfectly fine. Just keep going with it, right? A 1 is probably somebody that's 12 months away. A 2 is probably somebody that's 10 months away. A 3 is probably somebody that's 8 to 9 months. 4, 5 to 6 months, or 6 to 7 months, or 7 to 8 months, however you want to do it. I don't have 1 through 5 anymore because you need a big pipeline. And then if you use Microsoft, the reason why people do like this is because you can run a sort by rating. So it'll push all of the 10s all the way up to the top, all of the 9s, all of the 8s. And so and again, talking about systems, when you have a system in place, you know, for me, when I do Tuesday follow-up, I'll go straight to my 10s. So rank it by 10, call all of them people, then call the 9s, then call the 8s. And then decide if the 7s are ready for a call. Decide if the 6s are ready for a call. And 5s, you know, maybe I just need to remind myself about who they are, what the next steps are, and look and follow it. The pipeline is huge. I know it seems like another step. I know, I get it, and it is another step. But if you guys aren't setting 4 to 5 reminders for yourself around leads and how to follow up, they're going to slip through the cracks. Because what happens is my system says I need to follow up with Jake on the 21st. And then on the 17th, Liz calls me and says, hey, Bruce, I'm putting together a golf team for a golf tournament. Can you golf on the 21st? Yeah, Liz, I can golf on the 21st. When are we doing this? And then I get completely obliterated with Liz on the golf course on the 21st. I don't feel like working on the 22nd. And then I get to work on the 23rd, but I've got all this catch up to do, but I really can't get to lead follow up. And then it's the 24th. You guys see how life happens? Liz, let's go golfing, Liz. But you guys see how life happens, right? All of a sudden, 2 of my fail safes are gone. My pipeline told me to call them, and my calendar told me to call them. Well, if I don't have my CRM set up and have a task reminder, now that's overdue. It's glaring at me. I have a reminder in my phone. Now it's glaring at me. So I think that a lot of times we look at these extra layers of things as a waste of time, a waste of energy. If you don't have smart plans set up in your CRM, get the hell off of Ignite and start doing that. If you guys can't figure out your methods and models around how Mondays look, how Tuesdays look, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, then get off of here and start getting into business. Because the systems are what keeps us from losing deals. And through lead follow-up, we've had 2 Ignite sessions, almost 2 hours long a piece, just simply talking about leads and how to follow up. If we have 2 sessions out of 20 in Ignite just talking about this, I encourage you to really ask yourself how important it really is to you in your life, because it's one of the most important things that you can do with your real estate business. Right? We all know how to lead generate, and it's more in our mind than it is anything. Lead follow-up is a lot easier for us, but we don't know the systems and how. So I hope these have been effective for you guys. I don't know what the next what next week's is. Let me look that up real quick. But I think we're jumping off of the lead follow-up train. Strengthen relationships. So next time we're going to be probably talking more about sphere of influence and how to keep relationships. So it's my guess. I haven't gone through the material yet, but we're done with lead follow-up, and that's 2 sessions. So now I implore you guys to get out there and make it happen. Start your systems. Understand. Think, just play a mock scenario. I'm Leslie, and I just had a new buyer lead come through. What's my first step, my second step, my third step, my fourth step, my 7th step, my 10th step, right? If you can't answer those, start building. Thanks, guys. Happy Wednesday. Anything else before we jump off?
Thanks, Bruce.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good to see you.
Thank
What's
you
Catherine?
so much. This has been so helpful for me. So thank you. This has been an amazing session.
Yeah, you're welcome. I have got to call Julie. I hope I didn't make her cry. She's not even on here anymore. Yikes. All right. If you guys need anything, I'm here. Give me a shout.
Thanks, Bruce. Before you go off. But
Yeah,
doesn't really
please.
have to
Jasmine, go for it.
Well, actually, it might. So I've been trying to cultivate a FSBO, and this is the second FSBO that I've found that is actually listed with someone, but they don't seem to realize it. So-
Wait, what?
Yes, yeah. So basically, I find this FISBO and I talk with them and I'm like, yeah, I see that this is for sale by owner. How's it going? Blah, 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 whatever. And so I Googled this one today and yeah, it's been listed since the beginning of him posting it. And, but he insists that he's by himself. You gonna look it up right now?
Oh yeah, I love these situations.
And like I said, this is the second time this has happened. And I genuinely don't understand what it is, like what's going on. Give me a second. I will find exactly what the MLS number is.
And you guys, this is the number one reason why the MLS rule states you have to have a signed listing agreement with somebody before you can list it on the MLS. This is like the epitome. You will run into some seller leads that are like, I don't want to sign a listing agreement for you, but you can go ahead and put it on the MLS. I just don't want to be tied to just you. You can't list it on the MLS then. You have to have that signed listing agreement. What's the MLS?
Yeah, the number is going to be 969222. Yeah,
That's the one, right?
Yes, it is. So yeah, no, obviously it is listed with someone, but
Did you talk about Anthony? So what I do in these situations is I'd say, hey, okay, what's your good email address? Because I'm going to show you, and I want to verify, is this your house? I want you to go through the pictures. Have you ever talked to a guy named Anthony?
Mhm.
And here's what you got to do. If he says, I've never talked to a guy named Anthony, I don't have anything. If you feel tenacious, give Anthony a call and just explain the weird situation to see what they say. They might go, oh my gosh, that listing's still active. I meant to take that down. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm not working with that guy. He's a clown.
Okay.
Or they'll say, no, I'm working with James. James, yeah, I'm working with James all day. Like, what? He's telling you he's not listed with me? That's weird. So yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't want you to step on toes, but you should look on Zillow. He's got listed for sale by owner. You might want to have a conversation with your seller.
Yeah, no, because like I said, this is the second time this has happened, and the first time he's like, yeah, no, I basically just gave him a flat. Geez, the owner gave the listing agent a flat rate to post it on the MLS, so that it goes on Zillow and Redfin and all that, so that he doesn't have to sell.
Well, that's legit then. So there's an exclusive right to sell signed. If he said, I'm willing to give a flat rate to this agent to post it on the MLS, then he's under an agency agreement.
Yeah, but that was a different person, not this one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, this guy, he seems a little older, so I just want, honestly, I want to make sure that he knows that he's under an exclusive right to sell.
Well, exactly, because 2 days ago, he would have had to sign an amend extend to the listing agreement to change price from $669 to $644. Yep, that's the way I'd rock and roll and do that. You really just want to call the other agent and just have that conversation. Hey, I just ran into a weird situation with James. It looks like you have the listing over there on 123 Main Street. I accidentally gave him a call and I wanted to apologize because he's got it listed for sale by owner on Zillow. And when I had a conversation with him, he didn't sound like he was actually looking. He didn't know he had it listed. And so I just wanted to make you aware. I'll let you do with it what you want. The reality is that there's a listing agreement signed. And if there's not, like, that guy's going to backpedal like crazy. And then you call me and I'll call his broker.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, how does that even happen?
Oh, hey, I've got to, here, keep talking. You guys are going to kind of see me go offline. Somebody needs a conference room, but I'm still on. How does what?
Oh yeah, no. How does that even like go about? Because like how do these listing agents get these listings and then have their owner, their sellers believing that they are still for sale by owners? Like I don't know. It's kind of interesting, especially trying to
Do you
get
guys
the,
understand how many offices hold classes like Ignite and Mastermind with their agents and share information and all of that? Not hardly any. It is an anomaly. It's something that I scratch my head about every day in our world, but it happens. Sometimes you just so happen to be in the middle of those things more than some. That's all. You're just hitting a period of time where some of these anomalies are just continuing to happen. That's all.
okay.
Thank you. Good to see you, bro. All right. Anything else, guys? All right. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Talk to you guys soon. It should be fun. I'm hoping to look through the material, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be about sphere of influence. And that was like 80% of my business. So I'll teach you guys a lot in that one for sure. See you guys.
Bye. Thank you.